Guys, we're back for another exciting episode of the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play. We're a little late, but that's okay because we have got a ton of cool stuff to talk about tonight. And I am really excited for tonight's show because I remember going way back like a year ago, sitting in a room with a whole bunch of my colleagues trying to come up with the name of this cool new golf concept and this new structure that's being built in Lubbock, Texas. And we're going to talk all about that. And I remember the conversations from what's it going to be and what's it going to look like to the name, the color palettes, the logos. It was pretty cool to be involved. But tonight we've got Patrick and Buddy with us from 4Golf. We're going to talk all about the concept, where the name came from. I mean, I know where the name came from, but it's a cool concept because as soon as you see it and as soon as you hear them talk about it, you're going to think Topgolf, but it's not Topgolf. It's better than Topgolf because it's as much as it's like Topgolf, it's so different, and it's got a much more family vibe to it, just a much cooler concept in my opinion. And quite frankly, I'm kind of over Topgolf. Like, I've been, and it's a 3-hour wait every time you go, and you're going to spend $100 on food before you even swing a club. So nothing against Topgolf because they've been on the show before. But before we get started, I usually have a beer in front of me, and I think the guys on the other side of the screen have a beer in front of them. But I'm drinking wine tonight because tonight's a special week here on the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play because just yesterday on iTunes podcast, the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play launched. So going way back about probably 6 months, I played golf with the guy that runs Private Club Radio, and he said, hey, let's have a podcast for the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play. And he had this concept that he was going to bring into a network that is now the Golf Radio Network. I've joined him. I've joined forces. It's now the second show along with Private Club Radio to join the Golf Radio Network. And I'm excited about it because now it's just going to give you the opportunity to just listen to it. If you don't want to watch us, you can just listen to it. It's a 30-minute show every week. Obviously, it happens on Wednesdays, but it's going to be released. All prior 60 episodes, tonight's episode 61, will be released to the podcast over time, and it's just going to grow and be an awesome catalog of some of the best and brightest minds in the game of golf. So very excited for that. I'm raising a glass of wine and maybe finishing the bottle before the night's over to celebrate the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play, on SoundCloud, you name it. If you want to find this show, it's going to be everywhere. And the first 6 weeks is going to be very crucial. So if you watch the show, if you like the show, go to iTunes, rate it, review it, tell us what you think about it. We're looking at all those comments. A couple of past guests have left some comments today, so it's pretty cool to hear from them. So excited to have that happening. So I'm really excited about what's next and the growth that's happening with the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play presented by Eat Sleep Golf. But I'm done talking. Let's talk 4Golf. Buddy and Patrick, welcome to the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play, guys.
Hey, thanks, Ricky. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, and cheers to you for your 61st, man. That's
hey,
awesome.
Thank you. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to act like I don't know what 4Golf is. Now, 4Golf is managed by Crooms, so I've got the inside scoop. I've got the backstory to it. Talk to me like I have no idea what it is. Elevator pitch. What is it? What do you do? And what's it going to be when this place opens up?
Go ahead, Patrick. All right. Well, we are a golf entertainment facility. We have 60 climate-controlled tee boxes. Each one of those tee boxes is going to have the ability for 6 people to play in each tee box. Within that, we're also going to have 3 bars, 2 different restaurant concepts, an outdoor patio that's about 100 yards long and 50. It's about 100 by 50. So if anybody's ever been out to Lubbock, there's a need for outdoor space. So that's going to be great. The technology, I think we'll have some technology talks here in just a second on why ours is different than some of our competitors and what we're doing. It's just going to be a really fun atmosphere for your friends to come out, for your family to come out, for your kids to come out. Anybody who wants to, 8 to 80, your spouse or your girlfriend, or your girlfriend. Yeah. 8 to 80. That's our target market. We know that most of our clientele will never have picked up a golf club. We know that they're going to be new to the game, but we really hope they can come out and play the games and enjoy them.
That's awesome. Well, I know that this thing has been happening for a long time, and you've gotten involved, and you've not always been in the United States. So we're going to talk about it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, the team at Eat Sleep Golf always does a good job in sending in questions. And honestly, I'm done writing my own questions because they send in so many. But the first one is, where did this thing start? Like, where did the concept start? how long have you been involved, and how did you get involved? Because you come from Bangalore, India, where you've been literally on the other side of the planet managing a golf club over there. So talk about that journey from concept to implementation and how you got involved personally.
Well, it really all starts with JJ, and I wish he could have been here this evening. JJ Colleen, he's a former PGA Tour player. He really thought that Lubbock needed something a bit different. He has a love and a passion for golf, for growing the game of golf, and he saw this as something that really could elevate Lubbock and give it something new and interesting to do. JJ has been working on this tirelessly with the rest of our investment group for, about 2 years now. And as far as, he's from concept all the way up. They've architecture drawings, everything. This is their baby. They know every nook, every cranny. They know everything about it. My involvement started in about November. I was in Bangalore, India, working in my lovely golf course overlooking mountains and dealing with monkeys and snakes on a golf course. To then, I spoke with the ownership group, and they wanted me to come over, and I saw this as such an interesting and unique opportunity, because this is the next wave of golf, and hopefully we can grow the game.
Absolutely.
Buddy, you want to talk about your?
Absolutely. Well, I'm a West Texas guy. Have mainly been involved in oil and gas, and then the restaurant business through different franchises, and have spent the last, oh good heavens, 20 years in the private sector. And it's kind of cool that I knew all these guys from back in the college days, and right here in Lubbock, Texas, at Texas Tech. And so as we got to talking one night over maybe a couple of beers, and all right, 3, and then it was like, well, here's what we're doing. And you always look, as an entrepreneur, you always look for the next big thing, the coolest thing and what's out there. And I played golf back in high school. I grew up in West Texas, in Big Spring, Texas, and was able to play for a couple of years. And then, so I share that passion with Patrick and the rest of the group. But, JJ Colleen, he played at TCU, California guy, but ended up going out on the pro tour. And so he and Bob Muzica, Bob went to Texas Tech from the Dallas Metroplex, and it was kind of over a couple of year period. But it's the cool thing about this is from my stance, it's something that's needed. It's going to take yet another upswing for golf, and it's a fantastic opportunity for everybody involved. We're hoping that that we can grow the concept, and we can take on the competitors. But what we're really mainly focusing on, or they want to focus on, was the mid-sized markets. Everybody wants to go to the million-plus communities, but hey, we can do real well out in the 250 to 300,000, and it's much needed out in West Texas. You can go to the movies and you can do a few things, but really there's nothing entertainment-wise where you can take your significant other or your whoever and go out, and rather than taking 5 or 6 hours to go play around a golf, you can take an hour and a half and go and do it. And then afterwards you can go watch the sunset over a glass of wine. And so, I went ahead and I'm always thinking, kind of what's coming down the pike. And that fantastic opportunity for everyone involved here. And once again, I'm kind of real big on local. Everyone from our building partner, our general contractor, he's one of the partners. He is our general contractor and has been involved with building even Disney World. And so, right here, he's building this. He took this on, and 53,000 square feet is a heck of a big undertaking. And so it's been great. And I did want to mention this about Patrick. He doesn't brag on himself enough, but he's been with Troon for 14 years. He started off, he graduated from Texas A&M. What can you say about that? But, especially, moving to a Texas Tech town where everybody bleeds red and black. Well, he's still got a little bit of maroon in his blood. But, and so, but he went with Troon to Mexico, to Cabo San Lucas, then went over to Dubai, that's right. And then India after that. So he brings to the table an incredible amount of management knowledge from the golf side, And everyone on our team, and you'll hear me speak about team a lot, is that they bring something special to the table. And like it was explained to me, even with the ownership group, you have a commercial real estate guy, you have the CEO of a bank, you have the one of the largest building contractors in Texas. You have a physician, you have JJ Colleen, and then we have two guys that are with a restaurant group that have, I think, 35 restaurants that are nationwide. And so they bring the food and beverage industry into it. So you can see that we're very, very well rounded. And so that was kind of what drew me to the project. And man, I'm having the time of my freaking life doing this. It's fun. It's exciting. Even JJ gets calls from all over the United States and probably all over the world about this being the new big thing, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Well, that's a good segue because I'm going to get into that just a little bit right now. So it does have a Topgolf vibe to it, but like I said, it's got so many different things to it than Topgolf. But as it is, Topgolf is like I feel like it's the coolest thing since sliced bread, and it's really, I mean, it's fun, but I'm not going there to play golf. Like, I'm going there to have a few beers and spend my paycheck because it's so expensive.
Oh, come on, Ricky. It's not that bad.
Hey, look, the space that they're in, they've done a great job. We have nothing but great things to say about what they've done and growing the game of golf and bringing golf to a new level and making it, good for millennials. They've done a great job that way. Ours is, look, people will ask me, what are your differences between the two of you? Why are you different than what they're doing? And a lot of it's the technology. And when we talk about our technology, we're using Flight Scope, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Every tee box will have a Flight Scope. We're using a company called Big Shots. Big Shots has integrated with all the Flight Scope to create games. So you're actually tracking the ball from the Flight Scope on every single shot you hit. So there is no pits in the grounds. There's no RFD chips in the balls. There's none of that. It's very different as far as the technology goes and what we're doing. The cool part, and the part that you as what are you, a 4 handicap now, Ricky?
I wish. I'm up to a 7.4.
Okay. Is it tournament season? Is that what's happening here? Yeah. It's really, you can put it in practice mode, and it's going to give you all the feedback that you would get from a Flight Scope. It's simplified. Obviously, it's, we're talking about main characteristics, ball speed, distance, launch angle, those things. It's not everything a Flight Scope can give you, but it's enough that if you wanted to go there and hit balls all afternoon, we're using Callaway golf balls, the regular practice balls. All the clubs that we're using are Callaway golf clubs. They're beautiful. They're beautiful clubs. And you can really go have a practice session.
And and plus, a lot of folks, back in the day, everyone had a set of clubs, and I don't know if it's from the expense side or what, but we're furnishing the clubs for them, and a lot of people don't understand that. We've got a Callaway. I'm hitting one of the X drivers right now, and it's a hot club. You're hitting high quality, top of the line clubs, and a lot of folks don't get that. So you do that as well as you supply the balls. So all they have to do is just show up. And, and for people my generation, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, you show up and have fun.
Yeah.
Now, that's a lot of good segues happening right now. So what's the pricing structure look like? How much does it cost? Is it by the hour? Is it by the day? And do you have memberships available?
We do. We have both of those things. So we're going to do it, broken down by, starting off, we're going to do, prime and non-prime. It's by the tee box, by the hour. That is what we're going to do. We're going to have memberships. We're going to have a single membership, which is your individual golfer. Maybe that's you, Ricky. And you can get one even though you live in Florida. We'll send you the details. But then we'll have what we call our 4 More membership, which is more of a corporate wild card. But it could also be used within a family. It's the membership. We're only having 200 of each, so if they're going to go fast, get them now. Get them while they're hot. We believe that there's going to be corporates who want to be able to pass that to people within their company, within their client base. But there's also people who have a family, and let's say you have 6 kids and they all want to play golf, and they want to take their friends on Tuesday and they want to take their friends on Wednesday. Well, it's not that much more money. You know, it's about $250 a month for the 4 more pass and $150 for the single pass for the 4-1 is what we call it. So, you know, you're not paying that much more money and you have some pretty good perks.
So this place isn't open yet. When does it open? Like, I want it to open now.
We're trying. You know, we're working on it.
That's not really it behind us. You know?
Oh, come on.
That is it behind it, and it looks awesome. And that's again a good segue to my next question. Do you have an opening date?
We have an opening time frame. Let me put it that way. We are middle of July is when we're going to start doing our testing, when we're going to start doing our soft opening, when we're going to start doing just a few, you know, all of those tests. There's a lot of time and effort being put into the service component of this. We have to get that right. And not only for moving forward, but for West Texas, there's a big service culture here. People are very keyed into the fact that they like good service. They will not go back to places that do not treat them the way that they feel they need to be treated for the money they're spending.
And you know, and you were touched on something a while ago. You know, we want to make sure that all of our guests feel like they got a good value for the price that they paid. And you know, we're $40 an hour for the tee box, and that's peak time. So you know, you take 4 of your buddies come in, you know, $8 a piece for for 5 of you. That's a pretty good deal. And yes, we do serve beer and as well as a full line of alcohol. And then non-peak, I think we're at $20 an hour. And and with the memberships, you come in, it's free and non-peak and reduced price during regular times. So that enables the guy or girl that wants to come out and work on their game as well as just learn. We do, and something we haven't touched on is we have a full golf academy out here that JJ Colleen is over, as well as a gentleman that has come over with him that is an assistant pro at a club here. Well, for the city of Lubbock, that's a huge deal. And there's nothing else like it that you can come in there. You can get videotaped. We're using the flight scope. He has a short game area that's all on turf. And then he opens up his bays and he's hitting right out into the range, as well as he's giving private instruction. He's giving he's doing all club fitting and so forth. And so that is takes it just to the next level for Lubbock. And I keep on saying Lubbock. We draw from the area probably about 200 miles, 150 miles, and out here for the Metroplex and so forth, they're used to driving. We'll pull people that'll drive 2 hours to come to this, and that's a big deal for them, as well as the entry level golfer who wants to come in and learn the game from a professional. That's unheard of. And so that's just yet another part of it. We have probably 4 or 5 different entities under one roof, which, like I said, is 53,000 square feet.
It's a big roof.
It's a hell of a lot of roof.
Now, you guys are crushing it with social media. So as a social media junkie, I can just appreciate every ounce of that. Who's doing it all? And tell them to keep doing it. Give that person a raise, because they are just, golf clap for whoever's doing your social media marketing.
Well, Renee Davis is our director of sales and marketing, and she has a great team working with her. She really coordinates everything to make sure that we're not just hitting the same thing over and over again. We're coming up with different things. We're coming up, the brainstorming sessions these guys go through to come up with a new and innovative things when we don't even have a building yet. We're not even in our building, and the stuff they're coming up with is just really fun. It's creative. It's different. They put a lot of time into the graphics to make sure that it all matches our brand standards. We make sure we follow our brand standards every time we put something out, because our image is everything. You can't put out a video of me and Buddy. This is probably the worst video we've ever put out. So I'm sorry, Ricky, but.
It just proves that you guys are human, but you're drinking beer. And the one night that I'm not drinking beer out of the entire history of this show, I'm not drinking beer, and you guys crack open one. That's all right. Now, the short term is just get this building open. But is the long-term goal to have more of these, to have them just in Texas, just one? You want to have them all over the country, all over the world? What's the long-term vision of For Golf?
World domination, man. We're hoping that that we first things first. Let's take some baby steps. We need to get this one down to an art. so that, it's running smooth. And absolutely, we're all hoping that, that we build 10, 20, 50, 100 of these things. And as I mentioned earlier, mid-sized markets, I think, are very underserved. And so, that's our goal at this point. But, the main thing, and you mentioned something a while ago, JJ's dream is just to build the game of golf. We've seen kind of a decline in it. I think that with these concepts, that's what's going to build us back. You can call it the Tiger effect. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but
Tiger effect.
And so we're hoping is millennials as well as Gen X as well as baby boomers. They unfortunately don't have the time to go out and spend 5 to 6 hours on a golf course on a very regular basis. It's just too much going on in life. Where you can come out with us, you can take an hour, 2 hours, and and really work on your game of golf. There's always going to be a need for golf courses. Please don't get the wrong idea that we're trying to take and even cut into that section. There's nothing like going out here to the Rawls course in Texas, voted #2 Muni course in the state of Texas this last month. There's nothing like going out and just crushing one, and then then hit it up for a birdie. You'll never replace that. But with us, what we're doing is technology has taken it's taken a hold, and with FlightScope, we have 5 different games that you can play on that. You can blow things up. You can hit islands. You can take and play. Was it 5 different courses?
5 different courses right now. That'll be expanded as we go.
And so that the virtual world is here to stay. And the millennials are already used to it. That's but they want instant. Let's get in and get out. And so we're hitting every spectrum of the golf industry.
And Ricky, I'm sure you're interested. Our nets are 286 yards long, but if you're doing the long drive competition, it does an algorithm to carry it further than that. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to try to hit it over the nets, it'll be about a 330 yard carry. I know that's like 3-wood to hybrid for you, but
yeah, I could probably get my 3-wood over that. That's all right though.
Yeah,
I'll dial it down when I come out.
Yeah, we'll ask you to get off the second deck. Yeah.
Now, Troon is involved. This is a part of the Troon Golf family of brands. How much has Troon been involved in the implementation? Because I see Ron Despain, he was actually at Tiburon today through the remastering project we're doing on the Black Course. So he's in there and he's got his boots on the ground doing the golf course reconstruction. This isn't a golf course. So what's Crooms Impact been on the foundation of this concept through the implementation of this project?
We get so much help on a daily basis from Troon. There's probably not a day that goes by where I don't talk to somebody from the Troon corporate office, whether that be Jim Vellington, our vice president, whether that be John Bartolomo, whether that be Will with the training programs for food and beverage, whether it be Elizabeth Rossi with our HR, Mobby doing hiring. They're just across the board. We're hiring 400 people. It's a task. And their support and their help in some of just the organization of that and how we're going to make that work with things like getting paperwork done. How are we going to get all this filed? How are we going to get all this into our payroll systems? They've been very instrumental in doing all that and been so helpful with, I'm the only person on the property who had been a Troon employee previously. So there's a lot of the learning curve of, benefits, HR policies, all of those things, and they've been nothing but gracious with us and helpful with our time, even when we've been slow, and even when we mess things up, and even when I send them the wrong form, they've been very, very good to us as far as just being patient and realizing that we are new and we are different. We can't be fit into a cookie cutter. Jim helps with that a lot, and just thinking, he's a very analytical thinker, and the fact that he looks at it and goes, what are the different things that we need to look at that could happen down the road? And he really pushes me and pushes Buddy to think of those things so that we don't fall into pitfalls as we open.
Well, and they bring a lot of weight to the table that no other type of business like this in the country has. I mean, they're phenomenal at what they do. I would hate to think of trying to go through this process without them. Whenever you mention golf, Troon is synonymous with them. And so, that it's something, it's a great marriage. And if you'll remember, I said it earlier, everyone brought something to the table. Troon brought the biggest piece of the puzzle to the table.
Just as long as you have a good local beer on tap for Bellington when he shows up, because he's like me, he's a beer guy. So
we've taken him for a few. We do have one brewery here. There's actually a second one kind of, I think, starting. So we've got some good local beer. Texas beer is pretty impressive. It's growing out here. So we're gonna, that actually segues into something having to do with the facility, which is kind of funny. Is a lot of our focus, especially from the beer side, we're gonna have 12 taps. We want to showcase Texas. We want to showcase local. And so, of course, you got to have your big ones. You got to have your Bud Lights and your Miller Lights and your Coors Lights, because that is going to be Mick Ultra. Yep, that's going to be official beer of the PGA Tour.
Cabernet, just for special occasions.
But the rest of those beers, we want to make sure we're pulling craft beers from the state of Texas. We want to show that there is great beer here. There's great things. We've gone to painstakingly long efforts, tasting to make sure that we pull the right beers for our facility.
And somebody's got to do it.
We're still tasting.
I know. And we'll be tasting probably through opening to make sure we get the right ones. But, and that goes not just for the beers. There's a beautiful Texas whiskeys. There's great Texas wines. I don't know if you know about the Highland country, kind of where we are. There's a lot of great wineries up here. It's actually a good wine growing area, and it's really starting to expand now. So we're trying to make sure that we are local. We want to showcase local. We want to be able to do a Texas wine flight. We want to be a Texas whiskey flight, Texas beer flight. We want to be able to show people. Maybe somebody comes in from out of state and, we've never heard of half of these beers. Well, hang on, why don't you try them? A raw red, out of Fort Worth, or some of I know Carbach has been bought by, one of the bigger companies, but they're still a Texas beer, in my opinion. Still made in Texas.
Deep Ellum IPA, it's one of the, yet again, another, Metroplex brewery. It's unheard of, how fast that everything is happening in the alcohol industry. And it continues to, grow and grow and grow. And, we're just really proud to be a part of it.
So, Patrick, I want to be a GM, and I want to do it overseas. So you and I have that in common just right off the bat. Now, having done that, having gone from here to there and back, and also having been a general manager, you've been all the way from an assistant pro, you've been through the whole gamut, right? So what's the difference in between being a GM at a green grass facility initially overseas, more than even in the United States, compared to being a GM at a property like this? Like, you've got just as many things going on more in your current capacity. So can you even compare the two? And what did you learn in your years growing and becoming a GM at a green grass club internationally that has helped you where you are today?
It's all a people business. That's what it is at the end of the day. You're dealing with, I had 250 employees in my last golf course. This is going to be 400. It's managing personalities. Now, this would be probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, food and beverage operation that Troon Golf runs. It is much more food and beverage heavy, but running tee boxes is a bit like running tee times. You're managing your inventory. It's the same thing if you've run bedrooms in a hotel. All you're doing is you're making sure that everything's clean, ready to go. There's a person there to greet them at the front. There's a lot there that there's similarities. The biggest difference is some of the cost factors and dealing with P&Ls. Anybody who really knows the golf business knows that green grass facilities, unless they're very well managed and very well maintained, there isn't that much profitability within the golf aspect. It's the food and beverage that drives a lot of that. And that's something that this property has. And it's been a great learning experience for me working with Keith Rogers, our director of food and beverage, and Buddy. This is a 50% food and beverage. And that's going to be the adjustment that I have to make. Is there's some adjustment there where instead of going from 30% up to 50 to 60, depending on our business mix.
See, like when I become a GM, that's going to play into my favor because I love to eat. Like, I love food, so I feel like that's just going to be a niche for me, right?
Ricky, we even have sushi here. Jalapeno popper sushi. Yes, we have that.
Ricky, I will say it is a bit of training wheels, it's getting people to understand that sushi isn't just all raw fish. We're going to have some ahi tuna. We're going to have some nice things like that. But we're also going to have a few of the, fajita roll with a little bit of cooked food in it, just in case people aren't as familiar with it. Our menu is so diverse. There's been so much time and effort spent into this with so many very smart people who understand what we're trying to accomplish that, I can't say enough about the cool stuff. And I was here for 3 months and put on a solid 20 pounds because our food and beverage director forced me to eat and taste a few beers on a very regular basis. And it was so good I couldn't stop. So I've had to go on a diet until we open. So
You've lost about 20.
Yeah, I'm back down. I'm back to even.
Yeah, you leveled back out. We have free lunch here at Tiburon, and every day I'm like, oh, it's pork loin and mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna eat it all. Awesome. And then tomorrow it's hamburgers and mac and cheese. It's awesome.
Well, we're getting him back in to we have a place called Evie Mae's Barbecue here, and Patrick, that's his new love.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I didn't tell you before we went live, this was going to fly live. We're already over 30 minutes, but I don't care because I love talking about this stuff, and this is such a cool concept. And I talked a little bit at the beginning, but before we jump to the back nine, 2 questions are left. 1, where in the world can people learn more about Four Golf? And 2, what do you want us to expect? Like, I have no idea what Four Golf is, and I show up. What's that experience like? So where can I learn about it, and what's the experience like?
So you can learn about it right now on our Facebook page, which is Four Golf. We have a Twitter account, which is @4golf. We have an Instagram account, which is also @4golf. Our website, which will be www.4ore.com. That will be up and live in the next few weeks. We're just on the final stages of that. We're just like everything else. We're trying to make sure that it comes across under our brand standards and looks beautiful. What to expect when you walk in, buddy? Why don't you hit them?
A hell of a lot of fun. That's our key word that we describe for is just have fun. And and it's the guy. And the really cool idea behind this is golf can be a little intimidating. And so what we're hoping is that we'll be able to attract more women to the industry, but they can come out there and if they hit a whiff ball like 90% of mine are, it's okay. It might go over there and hit something, but the next one, man, you may just crush it. And so what they can expect is to have a really good time that's golf based. But what I think other people have missed is the food and beverage side of it, the people side. We're people oriented, and we want folks to just come out and enjoy, have a good time, feel like they've that they want to come back.
That's awesome.
Well, and grow the game of golf. That's what they can expect.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on the show. My wine glass is almost empty. Your beer cans are almost empty. But before I let you go, we have this segment called the Back Nine. It's just fun. 9 random golf-related questions. Since there's 2 of you, you both have to answer each question. I'll let you decide who goes first, but are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
Right now, Ricky Fowler.
No, LPGA.
Oh, LPGA.
Jarena Pillar.
Well,
you aren't even going to answer. No, buddy, you're done. No, Ricky Fowler. Beer or wine? And I don't even know why I asked this. It's got to be beer, but beer or wine?
Beer, yeah.
All right. I don't know if you have a choice when you're at Four Golf, but do you listen to music when you play golf?
Yes.
He listens to rap.
Or country western.
Yeah, I tend to like a little bit of country.
So I listen to dance music and everything else. So I can relate to rap and country in the same conversation. I am in between golf balls. I'm thinking about switching. What golf ball do you currently play?
Callaway, the new Callaway Hex Chrome.
Well, I'm a Titleist guy, but I'm learning now that Callaway is one of our sponsors. I hate Callaway now.
Oh, okay, good. You have a hat that says Callaway too. Favorite golf movie?
Tin Cup.
Good, and thank you. Nobody ever says that. That's so good. I could watch that movie 1,000 times.
Was it Bagger Vance?
Yeah. And no one has ever said that, and I don't want them to. So,
come on.
You don't even know the name of it. You're like, oh, what is it? Bagger Vance? The Legend of Bagger Vance, featuring Will Smith. Yes.
Hey, we say JJ is our real life Roy McAvoy.
He is
driving range pro.
That's what he'll do.
Awesome. So I have to assume you have, but have you played the Rawls course at Texas Tech, another Troon facility?
Multiple times. Greg Winter, the general manager over there, is very gracious to us. He knows. I think he might want to come over and drink a few beers once we're open. So he's been very nice to us and let us come over quite a few times.
We actually played the Rawls on Friday. Pat had a little bit of
had stomach problems and had to go in. I couldn't make all 18.
He couldn't make 18, but yeah, it's a great course, like I mentioned earlier.
Awesome. What is your favorite restaurant, not a restaurant at Fort Golf in Lubbock?
Evie Mae's.
Campese's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know either one of those, and I want to go to them both.
Hey, man.
Campese's is a great Italian restaurant. They're out of the Dallas area. We're actually featuring 2 of their pizzas on our menu.
Yep.
And they're delicious. Very good. And Evie Mae's barbecue, and I can't get enough barbecue.
I do like pizza. I've had pizza like 3 days in the last week, and I love pizza. Now, I need to preface this next question. I'm his biggest fan. He's all around me in the room. He's staring at me and art and posters, and I'm Tiger's biggest fan. Okay, so be careful how you answer this, and do not let the happenings of the last 3 days affect your answer by any means. But do you think Tiger breaks Jack's record? Why or why not?
No. He may get back to the point where he can win a golf tournament and get back to somewhere where he is competing on the PGA Tour. But, man, I was out at the Byron Nelson the other day and watching these guys play. They're all elevating their game. They're getting to a new level. And he may be able to get back with them, but he's never going to get back to the point where he's so far ahead of them that he's just dominating majors again. It just won't happen.
That's a good answer. I don't like it, but I'll allow it.
Well,
Buddy, please have a better answer for me.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, time is ticking on Patrick, on Tiger, excuse me. And so, I think that he's probably done. I hate to say that. He's a hell of an athlete, and I think that he'll come back and play, but I don't think that he can ever reach the peak that he was at.
All right. I don't like either one of those answers. But
What do you want? What do you want? What's your opinion?
Right now, I just want him to be able to just, not be trending on Twitter because of the fact that he can't drive home safely at night. My opinion, and I've said it a million times, I don't think he's done. I don't think he forgot how to play golf. I think for the first time in his career, he's waited to get healthy before coming back. And I think that if he can get to the point that he can win 2 or 3 on the tour and then get and win one more major, I think if he wins one more, he breaks the record by 3. Because when he gets one more, he gets that monkey off his back and he can figure out how to just do what he was good at. That was winning golf tournaments. And I don't think that that's gone. I think he's so built as an athlete. I don't think that his age, he's 41, he'll be 42 the next time he plays on tour. I don't think that is as big of a part of it. I think that if he gets one more major, it's over. He goes on and wins 4 or 5 more if he wins one more.
Ricky,
but he's got to get one more.
You've read the Oz Principle. You're living life above the line. I mean, that's
well, and it's also a little self-serving because I collect his memorabilia, and I've got so much stuff that if he doesn't break the record, I have nothing to do with it. It's worthless. I got paperweights everywhere.
Well, you can't take anything away from him. He's probably one of the best athletes in, by far, probably one of the best things that ever happened to golf, other than Jack Nicklaus. It just they're equal in my view. They're both have a lot of God-given talent.
Your final question of your hashtag Wednesday match play, and before you answer this, it can't be just opening the doors. What's next for Fort Golf?
Well, we want to give an experience to our guests that is something new and entertaining for Lubbock. We want to be the premier place to go, and we really want to showcase that we are something different, that our technology is very different and very interesting and maybe works better for the regular golfer and for the person who's just walking in for the first time.
Buddy, anything that you want to add to that before we let you go?
What's next for us is, we, like Patrick said, we want to make sure that everyone has a great experience, and we want to be synonymous with golf out in West Texas. And then as we progress into other markets, we want them to know that we're we have everything at the highest standards, and that they can come out and expect a great time and have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like fun. I hope that I can get back to Lubbock some point. I have been to Lubbock because I remember driving past. It was dark, but I remember seeing the Rolls of Texas Tech sign, and I remember the traffic being so bad there that I just wanted to leave. So I didn't get to see C4 Golf, so I got to have an excuse to come back, and that's going to be it. You're going to have to show me all the local beers and all the local spots. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Your beer cans are empty. My wine glass is empty. Dinner is almost ready. The Wednesday match play, like I said at the start of tonight, is going to be available not only on YouTube, it's going to be on Stitcher, on SoundCloud, and on iTunes and Google Play. It's all over the place. If you want it, you're going to be able to find it. And as always, on the hashtag Wednesday match plays, you have to remember to eat, sleep, golf.